Welcome to the Author Next Door,
where we talk writing, publishing, and the business behind the books.
This podcast is for writers who are a few steps ahead into the journey. Maybe you've published, maybe you're planning what's next, and you realize the questions aren't getting easier. They're just getting more interesting.
Sometimes it's just our fabulous selves. Sometimes we bring friends to the table, but it's always lived experience and information you can use.
So pull up a chair. The conversation starts now. Welcome to episode 59. I'm Cassie Newell, and I'm here with my co-host, Angela Haas. And this month, M stands for marketing. All right, marketing in 2026 isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things with clarity, intention, and ownership. So over the past year, we've tested a lot of things, Angela. We've tested launch strategies, paid ads, ARCs, ALC team shifts, audio production, direct sales, retail sales, newsletter growth, community building, social media, book swaps. So today we're talking about what actually converted, what feels noisy and exhausting, and where we believe marketing is heading in 2026. So with that, what marketing trends are you seeing for 2026 that you're excited about? Anything new?
I don't know if it's new, but I feel the shift is coming from moving away from inauthenticity and showing up as your authentic self. That's how I'm going to approach 2026. Because I feel like I was always trying to model my marketing strategy after what I was seeing other people do. I need to be like this person. I need to be like that person. But where it was falling flat is I don't like making videos of myself. I don't want to spontaneously just hold my phone up and start talking. That's just not who I am. And trying to figure out like who I am as an author and how I can show up that way and just be me is my goal, whether that's in my newsletters or maybe planned videos that I'm doing that I can turn into reels and post those. But what I'm seeing is, and don't get me wrong, this is in my corner of the internet. I'm sure other people might disagree with me. So that's my disclaimer off the top. If you're listening to this and you're like, that's not what I'm seeing, that's probably true. Because if we think about it, the internet is huge. It's like the universe. We'll probably never get to the edges.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so in my corner, what I'm seeing people talk about, especially from a Gen X perspective, nostalgia is huge. Anything that's taking us back to the 80s, 90s for me and for the rest of Gen X. We're parked there and we want to live back in those times when things were simpler for us. And then I'm seeing a move away from the influencers. Especially, we're going to talk about this in a later episode, but there's people that have just made comments that they're automatically blocking the influencer that feels fake and inauthentic. The nail tap on things is driving people crazy because everyone's doing it. So it doesn't feel like authentic. And I've gotten frustrated with influencers because for a while I was accidentally a little obsessed with the influencers that were like shopping on Amazon and the Amazon top finds for holidays or whatever. And they're in this great house and you're seeing it all staged. And when you actually get to the products, some of them are 3 stars, frequently returned, not anything good. I ordered one, it was a piece of junk. And I'm like, okay, so that's not authentic, right? So you're just throwing up stuff and it's not even good stuff. So that's the biggest trend. And I'm seeing people really want to move to things they own. So selling direct from their website, doing a newsletter instead of spending so much time on social media. It's like, what can you control? And that's the starting point. What about you? What are you seeing?
So for 2026, I think it's the year of direct sales, retail sales, and Kickstarter. I mean, I honestly do. So I do think social media is interesting. I think it gets you visibility when people are like, "Yeah, I'm a reader and I want to find more things like this." I like it, but it takes your time versus
Mhm.
cultivating your community. So I'd like to see that shift be more community based for social media, and I think that dives right into the topic of authenticity
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, I've never been one to buy followers either, and it was interesting for me because in the beginning in 2026, I didn't know what I was doing and somebody approached me about it and I totally did it. And I realized really quickly, like, that's just a number. Nobody's really liking or cares. And then that hit me at that time. But like, you don't know until you know,
Mhm.
And so it's hard when you start with a new pen name or you're switching genres and all, and you're starting from scratch and you realize that hard travel up the road to get more visibility. So I do think paid ads are a way of doing that, specifically if you are really tight in your marketing of your book, the sales pitch, the cover, the feels, the trope, like all those little grabby things. Because if you're not really solidified there, you'll get some buys for sure, but then it'll start tanking because you're going to get some poor reviews based on that. So for me, I think 2026, I think 2025 was a huge year for Kickstarter too, but I think it's just going to continue to grow in that realm because when you have a community, they want to support you. And then they see this, usually a special edition, and these things that are really catered to their
Mhm.
community and that type of reader. I'm like that too. I want that. Gimme, gimme. Right. So, yeah, that's what I think 2026 is going to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's look at 2025 though. What
Yeah. Let's talk
worked?
about
What
it.
didn't? What did you try? What are you going to go back for? What are you going to avoid?
Okay. So I'm going to be real honest.
Do it.
It's the scoop, people. I love audio production. It's awesome. I have some sales, but it's tanking for me. It's a long game. It's not a area that's really building. I wouldn't suggest it to people who are doing a really thick novel series, going right in it out the gate. I think you need to build up before you get there. I have a little different strategy in that mine are short. So I don't pay quite the fee that others do, although by the end of it, it's
Yeah, it's
usually a novel
yeah.
costing.
Yeah.
But I also kind of realized it gives me joy.
Right.
So it came down to if I continue in this realm, it's really a me joy thing and giving back to my community joy thing. And
Mhm.
then hopefully I can start banking it and doing some fun things to see if I can make it profitable or at least break even in the next 2 years. So I'm deciding to switch a little bit with my firefighters and not make them exclusive. I'm going to
Gotcha.
give that a go. I'm also looking to box set my audiobooks, which is a new thing for me to do anyway. The
Mhm.
other thing I think I didn't do well is my direct sales. So I set up a direct sales and I realized I'm really not pointing people to my store as the first gateway. I'm really pointing people to Amazon at the moment.
Hmm.
So I think I'm going to do a little bit of a shift change on some of that. And we'll see how that goes. Cause I think right now I don't have the clout or the community that really want to go into my direct store. I mean, for those of the people that have to love you, but like it's really it's low. And I didn't put investment into it. So I went with PayHip. It's free for me. I got it connected to Book
Right.
Vault. Not a lot of risk there like I did with the audio. But I
Sure.
do feel like for 2026 and 27, I should be looking at that. And I think that's where Kickstarter comes in too, because you can
Yeah.
really get your toes wet there. So,
Yes.
what about you? Like, what did you do this last year that, like, you were like, this is just not working well? Or what would
Well,
you change?
I'm not doing anything. Really, I
It's not true.
Well, I really wasn't. I was under the impression that I was really organized until I got my assistant because she took what I was doing, which was just sort of it's almost like you're on a boat and the water's coming in, and I was just sort of putting something here and here and here. But I don't know that I had a strategy. So when Audrey came in from Author Anchor, and we're going to talk to them later this month, she streamlined everything. And then I was kind of seeing like, I really haven't been posting regularly to social media.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do an effective launch really for my plus one equals you. I did use the PR firm and that really helped getting reviews, but I didn't start building with my own like newsletter and getting my own people excited like because I had shifted from sci-fi to romance. So I think I've been sort of floating and I haven't really gotten settled with here's the books that are coming, here's what I'm writing, here's a trajectory instead of just
Right.
randomly writing a book and then thinking about telling people about it and doing it this way. So for 2026, everything's been way more streamlined. I really wasn't doing that before. And it took me getting an assistant for me to realize, okay, this is where I need to be. And I need to have a little bit more of a strategic focus instead of just posting random things at random times. So that's what's going to help me. I did do an audio book for my plus one equals you, but I'm as much as it's kind of tempting, right? We do want to hear
Yeah.
the story come to life in that way, right? Because I was thinking about doing it for No Climb Too High. And then I started to realize, I need to wait. I need to wait till people are following the series and then that gives me something extra. But for me, it's an investment. It is a cost, and right now, you know what I need to be doing? Writing more
Writing.
books.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's gotta be my focus. What I'm gonna do is do enough so that I can market this podcast, market my books, but my focus is not putting a lot of money into I might stop my Amazon ads, not completely, but I need all the time and energy and money to go into creating more books
The
because
editing and the
that
covers, because people
right.
forget that stuff costs money.
It
I'm
costs so
fortunate
much
that,
money.
yeah, I'm fortunate I have my own book cover company. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
you
So,
definitely do. And I love working with any at Yummy Book Covers,
yeah.
but and that's, I could maybe do it on my own with Canva, but there's so much backlash with any cover that even anyone thinks has AI in it. They're
Mm,
avoiding it.
yeah.
So I'm going to do it right. And to do that, you've got to spend some money. So the thing is, I need to not put marketing on hold, but just lean into my assistant and let her at least keep my presence going, help build up that newsletter, get that newsletter out. But even with the newsletter, I only have 2 romance books. At some point, what else? You've got to
Yeah.
talk about other things. You can talk about your processes, you can talk behind the scenes. But the more books I have, the more marketing opportunities there will be. So that's my focus for 2026, finding time and just writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you have like what's your tried and true software pick? So stuff that helps you streamline your business marketing. Is there anything that you're using that really helps your time, energy?
Got rid of a lot of tools last
Yeah,
year
I know.
because I felt
I
like
did
I was
too.
buying all these things and I wasn't
Mhm,
really using them. And it felt like a struggle to understand them and sit down
mhm.
and then schedule. The only tool that I consistently use is called repurpose.io. I have a subscription. I've been grandfathered in for like 5 years or more. And what it does is when I do a video in any social media situation, I can schedule it or I can push publish it to other social media. I can change the caption. for IG or Instagram, sorry, I can put it in the trials and things like that, and I can repurpose content. What's great is right now I have everything starting in TikTok. And
Hmm.
then when it does publish, Repurpose.io automatically puts it in a Google folder. Automatically, I have it pushed to YouTube, regardless, just for shorts. And then I decide whether I want it in Instagram because not everything in TikTok really works in Instagram. So I'm kind of picky and choosy there. And what it does allow me to do too is repurpose the same content, changing captions or changing certain things of the videos so I can reuse it over and over again. Especially like earlier in February, I was sicker than a dog.
Hmm.
And I was like, repurpose the hell out of everything because
Right.
I didn't have the energy. And I 1 hour I repurposed like for like a week. So that's like the only one I still use and love because it gets rid of watermarks. It does what I need it to do quickly. And I don't have to think really hard about it in scheduling either. And lately I've been flying by the seat of my pants, which I'm looking forward to my PA helping me not fly by the seat of my pants. But it's just been that way for a good handful of months that I just haven't had the capacity to sit down and do my pillars and plan things out and get that all together. Yeah, that's the only system that I really utilize on the daily that I like. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing we use Milanote, which is what do you call it? Is it a storyboarding software? What kind of software do you think? I don't know how to describe it. It's like,
Yeah, Milanote's fun. It's a lot like Notion, which a lot of people know Notion, but Milanote is more visual oriented and it's
yeah,
more like task boards or whiteboard oriented.
yes.
And you can have different templates and you can make it as complicated or as simple as you want it to. But what's nice is that shareability, and you don't have to have the pro program to do that. Whereas in
Hmm.
Notion, there's only certain sections you can see or use, and that always irritated me. And Notion has too many bells and whistles, and it
Yeah,
takes you out of it.
yeah,
Milanote is definitely, if you are a visual person, Milanote's
I am.
fabulous.
I am. I have to
Yeah.
see things and then I can process easier. So for
Yeah.
me, I love when I have ideas, I can totally dump them in there. And that's sometimes what I would struggle with is I'd see an idea or something I did like or something I wanted to try, and then I just didn't know where to put it.
Yeah.
And so it would go, it would be gone, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, where did I see that post at? I know you can save things on Instagram, but sometimes that I save a lot of dog and cat
Yeah.
and
Make like little
bird
folders and then you
videos.
never go
Yeah.
back to them.
And I'm like, "Oh god, where was that thing?" Recipes. So, what I love about Milanote is I can screenshot things and mark it, and then the assistant will take it and sort it for me.
And you
But
can
even
say
if
what
I
you love about it. You could put a little note next to it and be
right,
like,
like
I don't
yeah.
love all this, but I love this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have an assistant, Milanote for a visual person is so much easier for me to set things up, drag and drop. It's just really user friendly. So that has helped my marketing process and strategy. Just having that whiteboard, just a place to dump ideas and organize them. And you can there's so many templates so that if you want
Yeah.
a social media post for the week and it'll lay out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you can, it's like endless possibilities with like just little clicks. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about that
Drop and
for sure.
drags. It's my
Drop and
favorite
drag.
thing.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad you like it. What
Yeah.
other tools do you use? Do you use anything else on the regular?
Not really. Actually, I mean, I guess if we're talking about marketing tools, and I wanted to talk about this article from Written Word Media that I found. But I guess, I mean, I used written word media all the
Yeah.
time,
I
really.
used them
Uh,
last year. I just got my bill to re-up this year.
yeah,
I think they're worthwhile, especially if you don't want to weed and seed all the different places you can go to advertise or do a giveaway, and things like that, or put a price reduction, right? Like
right. Yeah,
honestly, I don't. I love that they're a one-stop shop.
exactly. Yes. No, it makes it easier. And so, for those of you who may not know or may not have heard, Written Word Media is a company that it just specializes in author promotion, and they're targeted by genre. And they use different companies so that who have newsletters that go out to subscribers for free ebooks and other promotions. And what I love about written word media is they really tailor things so that you can take the go big or go home approach and spend a lot if you want and have so many different things done for you. If you're doing a launch, they'll take care of the Amazon ad, the Facebook ad, they'll just take care of all that for you. Or you can say, you know what, I just want like a smaller 3-day promotion. It's not as much money, but it just gets you kind of a jump in downloads so that you can get page reads and reviews from that. So I consistently use written word media, and our friend Amy Van Sants, who was a guest on the show last year, Authors XP. I don't really see another way, unless you do, for getting email subscribers that quickly. You just participate in a giveaway. You can give away a free ebook or a paperback, and you have to share. She'll give you graphics so that you can share the promotion when it's going on for the week. And really, that's just helping other authors get likes and clicks. And then you get a list of email subscribers who are targeted for your genre.
Yeah.
That's how you can build your audience quickly. So I guess those two things I will keep using and
Yeah.
have been using. What about you? Are there other things like that that you
Yeah, I do both of those as well. And the one thing that I really got into with written word media is I think it's with for romance. It's Red Feather Romance. I've been doing their newsletter giveaways. Now they're long, they're like 60 and 90 days, and your book is part of the giveaway. And they do ask you to put it in your newsletter, which I have. I have one going on right now.
right?
But it's great because I get a lot of subscribers that way too. And Author XP, that was golden for me starting out last
Hmm.
year in January because I had no share of voice at that time with the new pen
Right.
name.
Yeah.
So I've done that a couple of times. I've done their audio ones too with Author XP, which is great. Yeah, you need to be involved though. I think too, at some point you kind of tap out on those things because
Right.
I'm starting
Yeah.
to see the exact same subscribe when I download the list. Like it'll be like, it'll say 2000, but I'll get 500 because I already have this in my list. So be prepared for that. Once you start doubling up on these things, at some point you tap out.
Yeah. You can't
But yeah, I
do
use both of
them.
those too.
You have to space them out too, because if you
Hmm.
can't do one quarter one and then quarter two, because those people have already seen your book. You really, I do the stack like maybe once a year or beginning and end. So you have to really space those out. Um,
Yeah. So the only other thing I was going to mention is
yeah.
that I do find there are some book influencers or PAs that have their own book companies that I have
Hmm.
found really helpful in my genre.
Yeah.
And what I like about that is when I've hired them with their services to help me with arcs at the time. And with those individuals, they're using your book funnel and you get to keep those email addresses for ARCs and building up your ALCs and things like that. And I think sometimes you have to look outside the companies a little bit and help the
Yeah.
little guy out.
Yeah.
And the
Totally.
small businesses, and that's what they are. And they have a whole different set of viewership. So definitely look in those areas too. It's more time consuming to do that and research those out, and not everybody's equal and the same. But I do think it's been impactful for me in 2025.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree. Um, the other thing I was going to mention, which I'm going to try to work for, and we're going to keep talking about this year, driving it home, is don't overlook in person events,
Mm.
because it's
Yeah.
a way to talk to your reader and give out your business card and have them sign up. And the other thing that Written Word Media listed in this article that I think we're going to have to make like a PDF of all our links, like, the companies that you use, I use. I want to put this article in there. But it's 2026 Author Trends You Need to Know by Ricky Woolman. And she goes through a lot of the things that we just talked about. There's section 5 is reader gatherings grow exponentially. There's always been book clubs, right? But I feel like there's a surge of this happening since we're really seeing COVID in the rearview mirror. It's been that way for a long time, but I think it still took a few years for people to start really gathering. We were so used to being home with our loved ones and our devices and talking that way. And I think every year we get away from that, we're getting back to getting together. That's where, like, there's in my neighborhood in Arizona, and every neighborhood's different, but there's so many book clubs here. There's like 20 book clubs here. Yeah. And so I'm trying to leverage getting in with those ladies. And I want to put together kind of a book club package. Like, I might even donate the ebooks if they promise to shout out on social media, leave a review or something. And one book club that I even, zoomed in on, the ladies were gathered in, I think this was in South Carolina, and I zoomed in and they got to ask me questions about the book.
That's
And that was a really
fun.
fun interactive series. So what I do is I put it in my back matter. I put a little call to action that says, Angela would love to be a part of your book club, event, talk, whatever. Please reach out here. And I just have that little thing in my back matter. And a couple people have taken me up on that. So
That's
it's
awesome.
another small piece of marketing that sometimes we don't think about. We're so focused in
Yeah.
social media, online stuff. And I'm always, as a retailer myself, going to hammer home, like, don't forget the in-person opportunities.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's talk about back matter though, because
Yes.
it's I think some people do it so well, and
Mhm.
I think I'm getting better at it because you really need to have some back matter if you can.
Yes.
You need to point people. That's how you get them in your newsletter. Are you excited about the next book? Blah, blah, blah. Get the details here, right?
Right.
Get them in your newsletter. Give them a bonus scene that you cut out. Give them an extra epilogue. I have to tell you, I'm really into a romance and I love that couple. I am the one getting that extra stuff. So
Yeah.
don't
Exactly.
forget those things. And you
Yeah.
don't have to kill yourself on getting that extra work. Certainly, if you are cutting scenes out, you tidy them up, throw them up. There's all kinds of opportunity. And then don't forget to update your back matter when your next book comes out. I'm
Right.
so guilty of that. I
Exactly.
try not to do that anymore. And then always
Yeah.
have your magnet in there too. And I learned from you, such a great idea, that I wasn't doing my back matter well on my print books that I was doing on my ebooks because that's so easy to update that I went, oh, yeah, I need to do that on my print book. So now I have a QR code so you can get the
Mhm.
free magnet
Yep.
story, things like that. Tell you where you could go get bonus. I have the URL very clear, not jumbly with a bunch of letters. It's like CK Darling / bonus. It's like super easy. But like those things that people forget about too in their back matter, like don't just do the ebook. Do the paperback. I even do it in my audio. That was a tough sale, but I now have it every time in my audio. This is
Yeah.
what's coming next. This is what's
Yeah.
happening next. This is the next couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that marketing aspect, people don't even think of it as marketing. It's total marketing
It
gold.
is totally marketing, but even down to every year, it's just like cleaning out your closet. You need to relook at your author bio. I mean, I was guilty of that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this still has really old information for me because you just sort of put it in and it's
Mhm.
edited and it's done. I'm not saying you need a new bio every time, but it's something worth checking. I think your marketing checklist for the beginning of the year as we get into January is, are all my links updated? Let me check my link tree. Let me check my website. Does everything still work? Did I change a username somewhere or a link?
Mhm.
Is my author bio still relevant? Is all the information up to date? Those little refreshes, all those little things that
Yeah,
go
all
into
those
it.
little things.
Yeah. So I think back matter is hugely important and it's something some authors skip that step, but you really shouldn't.
That's how you get read
Yeah.
through. I
Yeah,
definitely can
exactly.
tell when I have book ones up for sale and how that carries through my other books. It's such a clear data export that
Yeah.
you can totally see it. Yeah. Even though I've tried where I've like put up book 2 or book 3, or I haven't really messed with book 4 on that yet.
Yeah.
I'll get kicks for those books, but I don't always see the read through so clearly that you do with your first book in series, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But
So what are your takeaways as we kick off marketing? Your hot takes.
my hot take is
It's
consistency and
yeah.
mindset. I know last year I was like, I am going to be marketing. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it, love it. Not always. No, it's
Mm-mm.
tough. It's definitely putting on your business hat, which isn't always the fun piece of it. But for me, I think it's all about consistency. And my little bracelet here, my little word momentum for the year, it's me building momentum and keeping my consistency. That is my goal.
Yeah.
So for right
Yeah.
now, I think I'm going to lean in more into advertisement than I have in the past. And I'm going to lean a little bit more into direct sales this year. Yeah, so I'm just going to see how that all pans out. Yeah. What about you?
Well, my word is authenticity. I'm going to show up and just be myself, even if it's slightly awkward. I'm thinking about like, you know, Diary of the Slightly Awkward Author or something.
Okay,
Something
that's
where,
gold.
yes. So I'm just going to be myself. And if I feel like putting out some type of video streams, great. If I don't, that's just not me. And I'm just going to find my way, but consistency as well. And I would say, do sort of a systems check. What systems do you have in place? What could you improve? Update your back matter, make sure everything's working and streamlined, and just do what you can. But the bottom line is backlist sells frontlist. You can't
So
market if you
true.
don't have the books out. So keep writing, keep doing. And that's what I have to tell myself. So
Yep.
let's do some quick personal updates and then I'll ask my question.
All right. So what's going on with you? Personal update.
Well, I'm finally getting some words, but I had an epiphany. Do you want to know what it is?
Yes. Of
I
course I
think it
do.
relates to marketing. It was like, I woke up at 2 and I was like, yes, I want to talk about this. And then I was like, don't, oh God. I had to like write it down. Get this little notepad and keep by my bed for ideas. But what I decided is this is the year I stopped chasing any perfection, right? And I'm going to lean into, and maybe this is part of the awkward author here for you. I get even frustrated on this podcast when I'm like, oh my God, my hair was out of place. Or we recorded an episode, I absolutely had zero makeup on. It was early morning. I was like, I'm just gonna look like this, and this is how I look. I looked like a turtle, I thought, but okay, like this is just my face. And I was starting to get down on things that weren't being perfect, even down to my books. Like when I see a typo that slipped through 6 phases of editing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just perfectly imperfect. Okay. Yes, I've learned a lesson that I can't wear a white shirt on the podcast because then our captions don't show up. Those little things that you're like, okay, I'm learning. But if, and I mess up sometimes when I talk, but that's just us chatting. It's not have to be 100% perfectly edited. I always want to feel professional, but I feel like I've been chasing perfection. I get really competitive and down on myself when things aren't perfect. And as far as my books go, too, dude, there's so much backlash and so many people out there acting as AI police, and they're hunting down any little thing that signals AI. And that's why I've decided, like, I'm not gonna not edit my books, okay? But I'm not gonna kill myself if I find something that should be TOO and it's TO and rush to reformat and upload my book to get it just
Yeah.
perfect. You know what? That signals humans were involved. I'm gonna Now, if there's 50 in the thing, of course I'm going to change that. If there's one or two, guess what? We're going to start a bingo game and I'll give you a prize if you find a typo. How about that? Because humans are involved. It's not perfect. AI didn't write it, which means it's not going to be perfect. And humans aren't perfect. And I'm going to stop chasing that. That's my epiphany. So,
Perfection is the enemy of good
yes,
and complete. Yeah.
yes. What are your updates? What's going on?
I'm super excited because I finished book 1 for the firefighter.
Nice. So
And
exciting.
I'm so bad because I had it edited. I wrote now, let's just put this into perspective as I say I'm so bad.
Mhm.
This is a typical author thing. You all will understand me here in this space. But I wrote it back October, maybe. Got it to my editor, I think at the end of November, early December. Hadn't had the opportunity to touch it because I was pushing other edits for my holiday matchmaker series. And I was like, I'll get back to the firefighters in the new year. And I got to it and I was like, I don't love it. Like it was just okay. And I felt like it was missing things and the tropes weren't as strong. The spice piece wasn't it was very scripty to me and I was not loving it. Now my editor did a beautiful job and was like, "Oh, I love this. This is typical
Mhm.
Peachwood Grove." And I was like, "Absolutely, it is not anymore." So, tore it apart
Mm.
in various sections that I just felt like anyway. And I've been working really hard on it for well over a month, which is even my typical draft time. So, or even longer than my draft time because when you tear stuff apart and you like certain sections, you're
Yeah,
rebuilding your Lego castle really. So
totally.
I felt really good when I was done at the end and I was like, okay, now I'm going to go back through my edit software and I'm like you, I'm not stressing. It's not going back to an editor. Going to do a proofread and I'm good to go. I'm done. And now I got to get on to book 2.
Yep. There you
So
go.
it was so funny because me and my late night thoughts is like, okay, book 2, thinking about that plot. And somehow I'm already like zoned into book 3. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Bring that thought back here. I've gotta regiment myself a little bit in the next couple of months. But yeah, I'm really excited where I'm at. And
Yeah.
Hot Boy Summer's happening. I'm so excited.
Wow. I don't know if we're ready for that, but we're excited. Okay, this is our Lumatory conversation card. What's your most prized possession?
My most prized like a physical thing or a person?
Probably because we would always say like our husbands, my dogs, my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like physical thing, like a thing. Yeah.
So it's gonna be cheesy, but it's my wedding ring. I wear it every day. I clean it. It's like my prize thing. And I think it's the reason I say it's interesting way too much as I've started to hear my edits on the podcast. So I got to stop saying that.
I
But
say
yeah, but
right, and like.
yeah.
What's the line?
So I have like these little diamonds on the side of it and it's based on a couple of things. Our children and the time we were engaged before we got married. And I don't know, it's really special to me. So yeah, it's
That's
my
great.
everyday
That's
thing.
so wonderful. Well, okay. So, in the movies, especially Moonstruck, they have in Italian homes, they have the wall of portraits, like old portraits. So, I really wanted to do that for Tim and I. And so, for his birthday one year, I like got all our family portraits back to great grandparents and this beautiful one of my great grandparents in Italy, like this beautiful, like old timey from the 20s, like the wedding dress is very like Great Gatsby, and they're posing and they're just stunning people. I created this wall of our ancestors and just our family, the black and whites, our parents' wedding photos. And that's a big possession, but I love that in our house. It is one of my favorite things to walk in and just see where we came from.
And
That's
that's in
really
your dining
special.
room, right? Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So,
I love that too.
yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
cool. We've
Well,
got
this
a
was
great month. We've got so many great guests,
so
and it's
many
going to
fun
be
guests.
jam-packed. Yeah. So,
Yeah. This is going to be a fun month. So thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to give us a review and rating wherever you listen to the podcast. It really helps us out with visibility. And if you're interested in catching the exclusive, The Author Next Door After Dark, this month we're breaking down the barrier and talking all things trope, main and micro tropes, and why it's great for writing and marketing. Next week, we're going to talk with Sam from Crew Fiction, and we'll be doing an exclusive demo on our YouTube channel to show you this amazing new tool to help you simplify your marketing. Until then, keep writing, keep doing. Bye. We're so glad you joined us for this episode of The Author Next Door.
Writing is a long game, and it's one best played with community, curiosity, and a little grace for yourself along the way.
Keep showing up, keep learning, and keep telling stories only you can tell.
We'll see you next week, right here next door.